is Windows and Doors, a company born and bred and made in Alberta.
You haven't set your lineup yet, right? It's Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
$11:03. We're a little late. That's okay. Welcome to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Go check them out. Only available in Leduc. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick with you here in the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall. Hope you guys are having a great day. The weather, in my opinion, perfect. Spoke to my dad. He was out there golfing at like 6 a.m. today. Got a quick 18 in before we called him to be the Benny babysitter. But nice day. Not hot by any means, but better than what we've had previously. Today on the show, we'll talk a little NHL, some NBA, Major League Baseball, heck, NFL if you'd like. CFL gets going tonight. Lots going on. Text us, 1-833-401-1440, or email us, Brandon at sports1440.ca, Connor at sports1440.ca. Now, Brandon, we came in with Fetty Wap. I don't know much about Fetty Wap, but whenever I hear it, I feel like
he's back.
He kind of like, I get energy from him because he just screams and the music's usually pretty good. But you said it's Fetty Wap Day. Well, what does this mean?
That's just specific to the station, or not even to the station, to the show. As today on Fantasy Frenzy will be the 679th episode of the show via my tracking. And full cards on the table. I could have made a mistake somewhere along the way in counting the episodes out one by one as we upload the podcast, where I put the episode number in every day. But 679 is the title of that song. It's my favorite Fetty Wap song. And as a result, and it's kind of it's a dual celebration because Fetty Wap's back. He's out of prison. Has been for a while now. He's kind of starting to ramp up towards making a big comeback. Playing all Fetty Wap songs today.
I didn't know he was in prison.
Oh yeah.
So congrats to him for getting out. What did he do? MTR said tax evasion?
I'm pretty sure is the right answer.
Man,
that seems to be what gets most people.
You got to get a good accountant if you're making that much money. If I went down for tax evasion, I'd be so mad. Like, it's just easy. That's like, I think they got the situation for that as well. And all he had to do was pay taxes, and he didn't do it. I would not do hard time for tax evasion, dude. It's not worth it. Well, but I'm never going to be rich enough for it to be like a real concern. So
yeah. Amazingly, when you're small potatoes like you and Icons, and I'm not trying to dox you personally. I know you're a big time afternoon radio producer.
Yeah.
The CRA, they don't really care about us. They want us to pay. They'll make sure we pay. But if we don't, or make a mistake or whatever, I don't think it's quite at the same scale Fetty Wap is at. Just a guess.
100%. No, you're totally right. You're totally right. I hope they don't come after me. It'd be a waste of their time. It'd be an effort in futility.
They'll never catch me.
We got a text in here from Matt. Matt said, "Yo, boys, we got our work dynasty draft happening as we speak. I've got the coveted 11th pick, 14-team league." It is coveted, isn't it? Super flex. Who do you go for out of these players? And then sends us Milton. What? No. I'm not sure if I'm looking at this thing correctly here. Maybe I'm looking at the bottom. Ty Simpson's, Denzel Boston, Stowers. Do you see anyone? Am I looking at this correctly, Duke?
I am not sure. If it's because above that is just all quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And frankly, well, there's some good quarterbacks in there. Jared Goff, Jordan Love.
I'm not touching quarterback Ty Simpson. That's in like 3 years, maybe. No, we're not being the Rams in fantasy football. Boston or Stowers, I'd be happy with. I think Stowers will be tight end 1 in Philadelphia at some point this season.
Do you think he
good
just
receiving option.
passes Dallas Goedert, or he's good enough the Eagles say, hey, we can trade Dallas Goedert to someone that needs a tight end, and maybe we recoup an asset in another area?
I just think he surpasses him. I think he'd like to keep Goddard on the roster because I believe he's on was it a 1-year extension? Don't quote me on that. But I think I'd like to have 2 reliable tight ends, he being one of them. Now, that being said, Dallas Goedert had a good season. A.J. Brown leaves. Maybe we're seeing a little bit more 2 tight end personnel. But I really do like him. I think he's got upside as a receiving tight end. That's who he is, though, if I recall his draft profile correctly. And Dallas Goedert does miss time. Like last year, he was mostly healthy, played 15 games. Previously, though, 10, 14, 12, 15, 11, 15. So good to have a little depth at the position. I guess my biggest concern, though, and then my question about Boston would be just the quarterback play. And Fannin. I think Fannin's going to be a monster picking up all the receptions. How about you? Do you have any feelings towards what we see available? All we can see is half of Coleman, Stowers, Boston, and Simpson.
That's where I'm kind of just confused about the text. The screenshot is not the most helpful, but that might be us interpreting it wrong. No, I think, yeah, the Browns, excuse me, I just say the Cavaliers. The Browns, they do seem to keep having good drafts, right? And bringing in quality players at the top end and building everything around where they expect, I would think, to take a quarterback within the top 5 minimum, maybe even number 1 overall when you look at how this roster is shaking out in next year's draft of 2027. And then that is hopefully the final piece to this puzzle that gets them back on the road to relevance, contention, etc. So I like Denzel Boston a lot. I think Stowers might face a little bit stiffer competition from Goddard and Mekhi Lemon, and we know Devontae Smith is obviously still there, plus Saquon out of the backfield if they decide to utilize him in that facet moving forward. I'll go Boston.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So 2 good options from us. You know who the Browns remind me of? And like
Browns.
I'm not saying like this they're gonna run the show here. But you remember the Denver Broncos like before they had Peyton Manning?
Oh yeah.
And it good team, but they would just draft like
Paxton Lynch
or Brock Osweiler. Yeah, like they couldn't.
The John Elway stereotypes, like all quarterbacks have to be tall and strong.
They just couldn't get the quarterback. And then all of a sudden, Peyton Manning has neck surgery, decides to leave the Colts, and he falls into their lap and helps turn things around. You could make a case that the Broncos have never really drafted a good quarterback. No, I take that back. A great quarterback. John Elway forced his way to the Denver Broncos, didn't want to be selected by the Colts, who were in Baltimore, I think. Peyton Manning, who helped them win a Super Bowl, fell in their lap. Jay Cutler was good, but didn't last very long. Tebow had a playoff win, give him that. Like, Bo Nix could end up being the best Broncos drafted quarterback. Anyways, long way of saying they're building up a good roster. They just don't have the most important piece.
And it is the most important.
Maybe the most important piece in football.
In sport.
Definitely football. Yeah, in sport is where I meant to say. Now, we got a text here from EG, and it's another question about a football roster. The reason I just want to quickly get to MTR just saying, I love football. That thought crossed my mind as we were getting all these because, man, football's back. Like, we're back. We're into June. People start having their football drafts, and now we've got more content to go with here, Duke, and I'm fired up by it.
Well, why wouldn't you be? Of course. And then you factor in the return of the CFL season kicking off tonight as well. That can scratch the itch, even if you're not the biggest CFL fan. Like, it's football on TV that you can watch while you are still preparing for the upcoming NFL season, if that is more your lane and your avenue, and in particular, getting ready for your fantasy drafts and your research. If you got a dynasty rookie draft coming up, doing all your scouting there. Maybe you've got the annual league event to determine your draft order, whether that be a golf round or some other wild, crazy shenanigans to determine who's going to pick first through, 10, 12, 14, however many teams you end up having. It's a very exciting time, even with, we know the NBA finals are underway. Great game 1 last night. The NHL Stanley Cup final, of course, game 2 tonight. It's kind of everything all at once without it all actually being at once. If you catch my drift there a little bit, there is something for everybody right now.
You got football and you got football coming your way.
Oh yeah, plus the World Cup.
Can't even forget about that one. Now, okay, so we got another text here from, let me just confirm here. EG, guys, I got my Dynasty draft Saturday, full PPR, a 4th and 7th pick. I have no idea who I'm taking. I need receivers and running backs. Yeah, his receivers, Stephon Diggs, Jalen McMillan, Ted McMillan, I do like, and you're kind of a flex spot there. The other receivers are Jalen Coker, Xavier Worthy, Dante Thornton. Yeah, I don't know if you want to go too heavy with Raiders receivers here. I know we've talked about Beck as a guy we kind of like as maybe a breakout player, but going to be a lot of Bowers. I see you got the Texans defense on your bench. That's pretty solid. I would go receiver. That's how I'm looking at it. Your running backs, Trey Benson, he's on your bench. I would not be looking at him. I'm curious to see if they decide, maybe during camp, if there's an injury to move on from James Conner or Trey Benson, maybe send him away because you got Jeremiah Love. But starting running backs, Bucky Irving, Chase Brown. I don't mind that, actually. I really like Chase Brown. I like his upside. In the flex, yeah, you don't have anyone else in the flex there. So I'd say you pick up a top tier receiver and running back at 4 and 7, Duke, and all of a sudden things are looking okay.
Well, the running back, that's hard in a dynasty draft.
Because Jeremiah Love's gone.
Right. And Jadarian Price, the next guy off the board, because it does seem like he's going to get opportunity in Seattle with no Kenneth Walker. So, but are you willing to go for Jadarian Price at 4th overall? Does he last to 7 then, though? Because
you might take him early.
It's really a rookie crop without running backs of much of a capacity whatsoever outside of one, and I'm kind of pushing it to include, I think, Price to an extent here too. So yeah, I think you go receiver at 4 for sure. It obviously is going to depend on how it shakes out, who's available there, and then honestly, probably receiver again at 7.
Yeah, I mean, the way I'm looking at it, if you like Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Love are both gone, right? Jordan Tyson's probably gone. But that could leave you with Mekhi Lemon, which I think would be okay at 4. Now, if you go to Jadarian Price with the 4th pick, you might be looking at, do we have an official pronunciation for Casey Concepcion? Is that
Concepcion?
Concepcion?
I don't know.
Conception? Inception? Reception? There's ways we could go with this. You're probably not taking Kenyon Sadiq, but later down in the draft, Eli Stower is a guy we already talked about. Amar Cooper. The quarterback play is troublesome, but maybe Geno can just start hucking it. But I don't know. I think the drop off at running back is pretty big, especially for receivers. Yeah, I don't know. Nicholas Singleton from the Titans. I might go running back at 4 if he's available. Kalen Black, trust from MTR. No MTR. That's not going to work.
And see, I think I'm looking receiver at 4 and then maybe even a tight end at 7.
Oh, really? Sadiq at 7?
I'd entertain it because this roster that EG sent to us, Jake Ferguson, solid, if unspectacular. And then you could almost say the exact same thing about Dalton Schultz, who is his backup on the bench.
Yeah. I mean, long term, in your dynasty league, I guess you don't mind having those guys. EG says, I never trust MTR's advice. Well, I mean, MTR, I was just going to say, Christian McCaffrey's going to go for 1,500 this year. 15 touchdowns. Probably a couple more through the air. Yeah, stay away from him. Maybe long term, though. 1-833-401-14. 40. Said that weird. King of Four Nasty says, good morning, Cons and Duke. The Broncos still draft like trash. Aside from Nick, that one was okay. Nick Bonito?
I assume you mean Knicks.
Oh, Bo Knicks. Yeah. I thought just Nick. They do some okay drafting overall. I thought for a long time they did really good at drafting, except for quarterback, which, it's not a science. They're not the only team. Like the Browns struggled, even though Baker Mayfield went on to have success elsewhere. They struggled for a while selecting
Well, he had
quarterbacks.
success in Cleveland. He won a
You got a playoff game. Yeah, that's true. But it didn't work out for them.
They just decided to put their eggs in the wrong basket, which was trading way too much and giving way too much money to Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Well, they also drafted Brandon Whedon.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying but they did, in theory, have their problem solved. They had a legitimate starting quarterback.
That was also,
and then they just made him play hurt because they had no other options, and he played poorly, and that was their motivation. It was like, all right, yeah, we don't want you anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, we could probably take that a step further as well, because you could have drafted Josh Allen.
Yeah, but I think even when the Bills took Josh Allen, some people really hated that in real time because of where he'd played and where he came from. Like, it's not like Josh Allen, people were debating at that time Josh Allen to be the number one pick.
No, it was Mayfield or Darnold was the debate. Yeah. But Josh Allen was still 7th overall.
But that was kind of a little bit of a surprise to an extent, because it was the big tipping point of, okay, well, yeah, he has good numbers and the physical tools more than anything. The physical tools are what entice you. We played at Wyoming. Like, who cares?
Not me, Duke. I was a believer from the start in Josh Allen.
You should be a pro scout then.
I should actually go check my Twitter history. It was like, what a terrible pick. Who is this guy? You don't draft quarterbacks out of Wyoming. I mean, long term, the Bills had a vision. It worked out pretty good. By year 2, he looked quite good. Year 1 was a little tough, but you don't pick 7th overall and turn it around that quick. Just quickly looking at the Broncos. Didn't have a pick till the 3rd round this year. So we'll have to wait and see. I thought Barron was a good pick. RJ Harvey, solid. Pat Bryant, we'll see. Troy Franklin, another one, we'll see. Gives you the big play every once in a while. There's some good players. Some not so good players as well. Curious to see what the upside will be for Bo Nix. This will be year 3 for him. He's got them into the playoffs. Probably could have been in the Super Bowl if it's not for that ankle injury or foot injury. But we'll see. How are we feeling about Jalen Naylor? How are you feeling about Jalen Naylor? Vikings 3rd receiver?
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, wait. He signed with the Raiders. My apologies. Okay. Sorry for cutting you off there.
No, that's we all need refreshers, because I too had forgotten that happened. So with Vegas, what's our overall receiver depth chart looking like then at this point? How does he stack up? Is he still any better than maybe a 2?
So right now it's Jack Beck, Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor.
Oof. That is a pretty rough room.
You got Dante Thornton Jr., 4th round pick from last year. Philip Dorsett. I didn't know he was still playing. That's interesting. Maybe a return guy. But those are your top guys, yeah.
Well, I think they're going to run the ball a lot and throw to Brock Bowers. Yeah, I mean, Trey Tucker actually surprised me quite a bit last year.
Made some plays, yeah.
I that is something I'd almost be curious to see how it shakes out in camp. To be just very frank, that is such a group of unknowns. Naylor's the most established, but not as a top option. Not even close. He's been WR3 in Minnesota. And yeah, he had to take more responsibility when Addison was suspended. But still. That's a training camp battle that I would be very invested in keeping tabs on, to see who emerges as a favorite of whatever quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one of them shows chemistry when Fernando Mendoza's playing, but doesn't seem to get the same looks when Kirk Cousins is under center, and then Cousins is your week 1 starting QB. Well, you kind of got to hedge and say, all right, or do we expect him to be in there very long? When Mendoza takes over, is that chemistry still going to be there? There's a lot of forecasting, and otherwise, I'm enticed, because he could certainly be the best receiver of the trio, but he could also just once again be WR3. And in an offense where you have Brock Bowers as your pretty obvious top pass catcher, that's kind of all of a sudden WR4.
I mean, they're paying him like $11.5 million a year. So I'm hoping for him to contribute for sure. For the Raiders and for fantasy, this could be high risk, high reward. Like maybe he gets his opportunity and he flourishes. We've seen that before with receivers. Maybe he goes there and it's not as easy without Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison taking up the double teams. Hawkinson as well, although he does go to a upgraded tight end with Brock Bowers. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get to more of your texts, 1-833-401-1440. It's Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
You may get up early, but more than likely, the team at GS Construction have already gotten up before you, grabbed a coffee, headed to the site, and started their day. So while Edmonton wakes up, GS crews are already underground, quietly keeping things moving, upgrading, and laying the new underground infrastructure for our growing city. If you're the kind of person who goes to sleep with their steel-toed boots on, GS Construction wants to hear from you. We're looking for a maintenance foreman as well as a building and yard attendant. Visit gsconstruction.ca for more.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Beer League Slow Pitch. It's an Alberta summer tradition.
I got shortstop.
I'll take pitcher.
Yeah, I'm just here for the dugout snacks.
When you're playing on the field, you need serious fuel. And there's only one MVP.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Load up on Alberta's best beef jerky and hit a home run with the team. It's the perfect snack for your summer sports.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
At Wendy's, get a 10-piece nugget small combo for just $8.99. That's right, $8.99 for 100% Canadian chicken, plus fries and a drink. That's just good nuggenomics. Only until June 14th. In restaurant at participating Wendy's locations. Taxes extra.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry. It can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
It's Canadian Tire's summer big red sale. Up to 50% off! Dude, I'm soaked. I mean, they told us to make a big splash, so I did.
Save up to 50% at Canadian Tire's summer big red sale, June 4th to 11th. Exclusions apply. Details online.
Get the inside scoop for your team on Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
Welcome back. It's Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Online at willhawkbeefjerky.com, only available in Leduc. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas with you here, Josh Fenwick. Keep us on track on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Thank you guys for joining us. Getting us to show 679 somehow. We got too wrapped up in Fetty there. And I forgot to say, that's a lot of shows. Maybe for show 1000, we'll do a best of and just have random segments from 2023 telling you guys how don't draft Puka Nacua or something. It will make no sense. Just a random best of show. And then Duke and I will go for lunch instead. One day. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. This segment for elksnation.ca. 2 weekly podcasts, of course, with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger, who I think is making his way back from Italy. I think he's on his way home now. Talking all things green and gold. Of course, the Elks kicking off their season out in Ottawa on a Saturday, 5 o'clock kickoff. They got the podcast. You can watch videos, articles, and more. elksnation.ca. Tonight, Hamilton and Montreal. And then tomorrow, Winnipeg, Calgary. One question I have, Duke, why is there only 3 games on week 1 of the CFL season? Why is Toronto, BC, and the Rough... why are the Rough Riders not hosting a game?
Banner raising night or something like that?
You win the Grey Cup and you don't get to play week 1?
Or is it a privilege you don't have to play week 1?
I don't know. CFL is doing some good things. I'm on board. That's a question I have. Then bye weeks are a thing, but come on. And if you're going to do this, why not go just Friday and then 2 games Saturday? When I'm the commissioner, well, that's what I'll do. Anyways, let's go back in the inbox. 1-833-401-1440. Triple C in the truck is just sending us lots of random text that I don't necessarily get. Oh, 1738? Is that what?
1738.
Is that what he says?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Do you know?
I think it's a brand of alcohol.
Oh. I wouldn't know.
Don't quote me on that.
I even said it wrong.
Josh is shaking his head.
Oh, it's cognac.
Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. What's that?
It's
I was right? Okay.
In cognac's name. That could be what he's referencing. The crew, Fetty Wap and his New Jersey-based music crew adopt their moniker, Remy Boys, which is this relating to the cognac Remy Martin approved. So, okay. Josh, Duke wins this one.
Shocker.
Kyle says, hey guys, do you think Jenny goes round 1 in a redraft? Okay, so I like what the Raiders did this offseason. Obviously, they paid Tyler Linderbaum a ton of money to be their center. That kicks out Jackson Powers Johnson to the right guard position. They brought in Spencer Burford from San Francisco, Colton Miller. I think we know what he is. DJ Glaze at the right tackle. They got a little depth there, drafted a guard in the 3rd round. They got a quarterback who's going to put him in all the right positions, I would think. Kirk Cousins knows what he's doing. I don't know, Duke. How high are you on Ashton Genty? Because I will say this. I was very pro Ashton Genty Heisman. Thought he should have got it. Got to the NFL. I was a little worried about his offensive line combined with his quarterback. I didn't know how good it would be, whole new system. He started off the year pretty slow. He didn't eclipse 50 yards till week 3. Then he burst onto the scene against the Bears, 138 yards. He didn't have a 100-yard game until a game against the Texans. Now, that's a little surprising because the Texans' defense is so good. He had 128 yards, 51 of which came on 1 run. But other than that, from weeks 5 to the 3rd last week of the season, his best game was 75 yards rushing. He didn't do much as a receiver. He never had more. Actually, I'll take that back a little bit. I'll walk that back. As a receiver, he did okay. Pretty good, actually. But there wasn't a string of big games for him. Down towards the end of the season, it got a little bit better. Like they got stomped by the Eagles. He only had 9 carries. Had the big game against the Texans. Went for 60 against the Giants, and then 87 on 26 carries against the Chiefs in a weird game that they won. Chiefs didn't have Patrick Mahomes in that one. If he's a first rounder, he's a late first rounder for me with high upside. How are you feeling, Duke? Let's say it's 10 to 12 teams.
Yeah, he's not a first rounder for me.
No.
You look at the other guys available, and even if like we assume we're kind of taking quarterbacks out of the mix, because even as that's gotten more popular to take quarterbacks earlier, and the likes of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, the upside they have from the touchdown potential, like let's just run down the running backs alone that you'd feel comfortable taking ahead of them. So, and feel free to step in if there's a name here that you don't agree with.
Okay.
Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, probably Christian McCaffrey still, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, like Saquon Barkley. A little bit of a step back last year, but are the Eagles going to have a very different looking offense this season? Derrick Henry, production in Baltimore, just keeps getting it done.
Could I throw an Achane?
Yeah, I'm a big Devon Achane guy. The situation in Miami a little concerning, but he got paid, so he's sticking around, it would seem. And that's just the running backs. Okay, now let's take the receivers: Jamar Chase, Nakua, JSN. We talked about some of these guys yesterday: CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra, Justin Jefferson, Drake London, also freshly paid. That's all of a sudden we're around 12 guys total plus. And some of the names towards the end of those respective lists, maybe someone jumps crazy for one of the tight ends like Bowers or Trey McBride. So all that to say, I don't see Genty as a first round guy. Second round for sure.
You swayed me.
Like it just kind of boils down to like how many names are above him.
Mm-hmm.
How many, like, would you take Ashton Genty over CeeDee Lamb? Would you take him over James Cook? And to me, the answer to those two specific guys is no. And they're kind of at that back half of the first round type of range, at least in my opinion.
I'll show my true colors. I wouldn't take him above Omari and Hampton.
Well,
you got
the inside track.
Pro Bowl tackles.
You know the Hamp man.
A new center, and you've got Mike McDaniel combined with Harbaugh, who wants to run the football.
And then, so you talk about Achane. Let's go back to the receiver room. Like, do you like the new fit with A.J. Brown in New England as a bona fide number one receiver still? I feel comfortable saying that. We know Drake May is very talented. Even if you think the Patriots as a team will step back a little bit from going to the Super Bowl and maybe not winning the division, I still see them as a very competitive team and a pretty productive offense. And probably, like, in my opinion, maybe even more so when you add someone like Brown instead of Steph Diggs as your number one wideout. You also bring in Romeo Doubs. You still have Matt Collins, Kayshon Boutte, some good fringe players, plus the tandem running back set of Stevenson and Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still pretty high on the Patriots to be well. I don't think they're going back to the Super Bowl, but that's more so the fact that the AFC is just so loaded and kind of wide open, to be frank.
Couple tougher games when you have the number one spot over the four.
First place schedule, no doubt.
Yeah. It is only really 2 games, right? Because you already play your one in division or one in conference division, and then it's 2 more games. But that can be, especially the Buffalo Bills in your division, that could be enough. MTR's just Hampton over Genty for sure. I'm with you. I'm high on Omari and Hampton.
And if all of a sudden you're towards the middle or end of the second round is Genty and Genty's on the board, I'd be chomping at the bit to get him because of, if for no other reason, the volume that he expects to see.
And he could be like breakout player of the year.
For sure he could.
He's got that potential.
We know the skill is there, the explosive play power, the dependability. Like these are all things we know from his college days and saw flashes of as a rookie on the worst team in football, right? So there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic, and you laid out a number of them with the fact that the Raiders have, on paper, improved a ton. New head coach, offensive-minded guy who loves running the football. Yeah, I think Genty's poised for a much better sophomore season, but I'm still not quite comfortable risking it over the likes of all these other names that we've kind of ran down here.
Mark texting in, Florida number. Good morning, gents. Looking for advice on my keepers. I can have two of Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Kenneth Walker. CMC keeper obviously was originally going to keep Kittle to get a top-tier tight end. However, with Kenneth Walker going to the Chiefs and potentially being a true bell cow back free of the touchdown vulture, Zach Charbonnet, making me rethink my decision. Thoughts? Yeah, I don't think I would go with Kittle. I think you can get equal, if not better, tight end production. He could be missing some time also. So for me personally, I'm going with the two running backs. Duke, how you feeling there? Because the way I look at it, like you there's going to be weeks where 100% you'll probably regret losing Kittle because he'll pop off every once in a while.
And as a result, his like weekly average still will have a pretty decent number. But like he's so involved in other elements of the game, and he's great at it. He's probably is he the best blocking tight end in the league? That is still used as a pass catcher on a regular basis. I think so too. And as a result, when there's weeks that they're just pounding the rock and not throwing it at all. Now, keep in mind the receiver room has taken a little bit of a hit in San Francisco with no Juwan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk. What's going on? We still don't really know, ? Maybe he's looked at a little more of a viable option because of that fact. But I think I'm with you. The tight end spot, we talk about that it is obviously the thinnest position group, but you also need to address only need to address one guy. And Kittle does miss time traditionally. So I'm with you. I think McCaffrey, even with the similar type risk we know that he carries, and then Kenneth Walker now in Kansas City, I'd be pretty comfortable with that.
You got to combine also Kittle tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
against the Eagles.
Good point. Weird how you forget about things like that.
Yeah, so that's a tough recovery.
Is he expected back to start the season?
That I don't know. We'll be at 9 months.
Yeah, that's pretty tight.
If he was a Packer,
not everyone can be Jason Tatum.
No, it's ridiculous. And that position, the amount you're pushing off, be tough. He had a steep drop in production. Granted, missed time. Heck of a career though, man. His second year, if you had him as like a sleeper, goes off for 1,300 yards receiving, and you nailed it. Like I think he's the best blocker in football. As a tight end, he just loves to do it as well. Take one over all of them. Triple C in a truck.
Wow, shocker.
MTR reminding you of Evans.
Is this the same Triple C in a truck that once told us that AJ Brown was better than Jamar Chase?
I think so.
Yeah.
Ride or die, though.
Hey, I respect it. I do. Genuine.
Kyle says, you guys should do a big mock on Sleeper. Would be interesting to see where you guys go a couple months prior to week 1. Duke, I will do a mock draft any day of the week.
You love mock drafts.
Mock draft Mondays. Every one day leading up. Well, maybe we'll do one tomorrow.
On a Friday?
Yeah.
Mock draft Monday on a Friday? This man's wilding out.
It's Fantasy Frenzy. We do what we want. We'll take a break. When we come back, a text from RBS I want to get to and more. It is Fantasy Frenzy. Here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantork.com.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal's only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay you to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
I'm good to go. Good to go.
With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say,
I'm good to go.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Welcome to the Bro Zone, the ultimate garage setup for checking out the big game.
70-inch TV? Check.
Surround sound? Check.
Mini fridge fully stocked? Check.
But a legendary Bro Zone needs legendary snacks.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Load up on Alberta's best beef jerky. It's the perfect game day companion when you're watching from the ultimate fan cave.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Get ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. The Gene Simmons Band, performing your favorite classic hits. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Tickets on sale now at silenticecenter.com. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Since the 1930s, the Dorchester name has been synonymous with chuckwagon racing in Alberta. And now, it's just as well known for golf. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course is open for the season. A challenging 18-hole course nestled in the rolling coulees of central Alberta. Stunning views, reasonably priced, and only 40 minutes from Edmonton on newly paved roads. Play the course built with pioneer spirit and family pride. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course. Book your tee time today at dorchestergolf.ca.
Who should start? Who needs to hit the bench? Find out with Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
$11:46. Welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick with you here. Fantasy Frenzy brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Online at willhawkbeefjerky.com. Coming up next, we got the Lowdown with Low Tide. They'll be joined by Paul Sir, host of Hoop City, Saturdays from 10 to noon, and then also Baked Milk from Oilers Nation. Then on the Jason Greger Show, Landon Ferraro will be by. David Owens from Sherbrooke Liquor. Trying to get TR. Terry Ryan is, I got a voice memo from him this morning. He's supposed to be in Victoria, and he was going to hop on for the whole show because he's got an event tomorrow, so I think he was just kind of chilling. And then, of course, flight delays hit. So last we know, he was hanging out in the Ottawa airport, waiting to get to either Edmonton or Calgary, maybe even Winnipeg. Wait, they don't have an airport per reports, to get to Victoria. So we'll try to have TR on the show. We'll also be joined by Farhan Lalji at TSN. Take a look at the CFL Week 1 getting going. We'll have Corey Lavalette joining us, contributor for The Athletic and the North State Journal. Look at the Canes as they try to get back in their series. And then Speck and more. Tater as well. Duke, I don't want to be dramatic.
It sounds like you're about to be dramatic.
It's must win for the Canes tonight.
You think so?
They must win this game. If they don't win this game, they're donezo.
Is it must win or can't lose?
Must win.
Okay.
And also can't lose.
Whoa.
Sometimes people say it's can't lose, but not must win. But for me, it's both. You got to find a way to win this one.
All right.
Especially you were up 2-0. Worst league in hockey, some say. But you got to win this one. You must. Lance texting just says, Raiders. Is there a more hilarious fan base than the Raiders? They're so loyal.
Yeah, Knicks fans.
Knicks fans. They're in the same category where I think that when they are good, it's good for the league.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, New York and the Jets are hilarious. Giants, they have their moments for sure. The Nets are completely irrelevant. Always have been, always will be. But then like Yankees and Mets, I think, are both kind of right there. But then like it's the Knicks city, I think.
Yes.
You play at MSG. The history, the drought now of a championship, even 27 years between finals appearances for this team that every year beginning the season, the fan base expects them to win it all. It's just the eternal optimism. And that exists in many fan bases. It's not exclusive to them. And then you have the great comedy moments mixed in, like the Kristaps Porzingis draft, Linsanity. Remember that?
Oh, that was a great run.
Linsanity. And then it kind of all culminates where we're at now, where this is a really good basketball team, and it's incredibly well built. Jalen Brunson, it's just another absolute boneheaded move by the Mavericks. Nico Harrison?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what was the quote? It's like he can't be a number one on a championship team. Well, listen, it's one game in, and I expect this to be a long series, back and forth affair. In game one, he certainly looked the part of a number one player on a championship team.
That picture of
him making the shot with his legs crossed.
Yeah, but just Brunson and Luka together in Mavs jerseys, like
that's
going to haunt you.
That's a sore spot for people down in Dallas, I would think.
Yeah, like I thought the Spurs would win. I picked them in 5, so that's going to look stupid.
What?
Well, you got to live crazy sometimes. But I would not be upset if the Knicks win. I'm a fan. Which one of you at Sports 1440 called Brunson not a superstar on Low Tide's show? Well, neither Duke or I, because we're not on that.
I was going
show.
to say, I don't know how many appearances you've made on the Lowdown in the Sports 1440 era, Connor, but I think I'm at 0, so it wasn't me.
I think once to fill in for Gregor. And we didn't talk about Brunson, I'll tell you that much. It was in the summer. Mark says, thanks for the advice. You got it. Florida number, but from St. Albert, now live in Seattle. Oh, you're all over the place. Seattle would be a cool spot to live.
When?
I was going to say, can you send us up something?
Picture the last 3 days that we've had here, but just in perpetuity.
Forever. Ricky Bobby says, Kyron Williams, Amon St. Brown, Amari and Hampton, 2-keeper league. Who are you keeping? For me, I'm dropping Kyron Williams.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I kind of see where Ricky Bobby's coming from, but don't overthink that one.
Yeah.
Don't overthink that one.
I think Hampton has some big upside in this offense with this team. Okay, RBS has tested in that the CFL schedule is and always will be an absolute joke. And that's something that I don't think I disagree with. Like, week 1, 3 games. Whatever, there should be 4. It is what it is. Why are we doing a game on Thursday? Why do the fine folks in Hamilton have to go to a game on a Thursday? Why not do one game? Let's just say Thursday or Friday, it's Hamilton, Montreal. There you go. And then on Saturday, you do Edmonton, Ottawa, 4 o'clock, perhaps. Winnipeg, Calgary, 7 o'clock. Doubleheader, Saturday. That would kick butt. Week 2, 3 games again. Whatever. Elks on a bye. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like, I get you're doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Why not go Friday and then 2 games on Saturday? Like, set up that double header where people just sit down and watch football. Week 3, you got it all. There's no Thursday game. They nail it this week. Friday night football in Hamilton. Then you've got an 11 o'clock game in Ottawa. That kicks butt. 2 o'clock game in Edmonton, season opener against the Owls. That's awesome. And then you've got 5 o'clock against with the Stamps and the Riders. Should be a great game. That's a great weekend of football, Duke.
Yeah. And I know you and Kevin are very much like-minded in the sense that you hate the Sunday late games. Do you hate all Sunday games for the CFL, or are you just against them being 5 o'clock kickoff as opposed to, say, noon, 1 o'clock?
I hate all Sunday games.
That's the NFL's day. No,
that's their day.
Don't even think about it.
Oh, yeah, just let us have it off.
And once the NFL season starts, they don't play any games on Sunday. There's a lot of crossover in the season.
They used to in Montreal.
Oh, really?
There was something that they had like a contract to do it. It was so dumb. Now, here's the website. I want you to check the CFL website. Go to week 4 on like the scroll bar.
Yeah.
For me, I've got Edmonton, Winnipeg, and then on Friday, 2 games.
I just week 4 is 1 game.
Okay, then mine must be my
Saskatchewan
computer.
at Toronto, and then Saturday, Calgary at BC, Sunday, Ottawa at Montreal.
My computer says Friday at 7, you have 2 games. The Riders hosting the Argos, and the Argos hosting the Riders. Split squad game.
Hey, fun. Hashtag fun rule change. Split squad games, middle of the season.
Everyone gets 1 split squad.
Yeah.
That would be a fun thing. Would never happen. Week 5, we're back to Thursday, Friday, 2 on Saturday. Like I can get, as long as you give me a double header. See, and now my week 6, I have the Argos and Bombers doing a split squad game again. Must be my computer. Dukes isn't doing that, but I have a week 7. Argos doing it again. Every week they have to do a split squad game. I guess it's just preference for me. I remember when I was a season ticket holder, they were trying to get feedback from fans, and a lot of fans wanted the game on Thursday so they could go to the lake on Friday, Saturday.
Yes.
For me, being like 17, not owning a cabin yet, still haven't got there in my life. It made no sense. I hated it, but I can understand that, my preferences are not going to be the same as everyone's. But Friday, Saturday, let's go. Those are the games for me. Kyle says they should have games on Sunday till the NFL comes back. That's fair, but I won't be there.
Midday.
Yeah, that would be more acceptable. 5 o'clock, no. 1 o'clock? Yeah, let's do it. I could do that. Currently drafting a dynasty startup, and you have me second-guessing my strategy. I went Genty, Love, Hampton for the first 3, but now I'm not sure about Genty. Well, it's dynasty, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, like it's a longer term forecast, right? The original question was, is Genty a first round pick in a redraft league? And Connor and I both agreed that no, but probably into the second round, yes.
And you know what? Like we agreed on the fact that he could also be a breakout candidate this year.
Yeah, if you get him in the middle of the second round, that could be a pick that wins you your draft. Because does he have top 3 fantasy running back potential? Yeah, he has the toolbox to do it. But I just think situation matters enough here. Division he plays in. Are they going to lead very many games where he gets handed the ball over and over again to rack up yardage and touchdowns? I'm not so sure. I think the Raiders, as I said, will be much improved, and Genty will go hand in hand with that. But I don't think that it's going to be to the point that they're a playoff team or anything like that.
And I will say, I truly do believe that Kirk Cousins is very intelligent. He's going to see things in defenses and put Genty in the best spot to flourish. Could that change when Mendoza gets in there? Yeah, 100%. They'll probably have him seeing ghosts at time, but if you get him for a keeper league, like that offense, they're building something there. Pains me to say. That music means we are done. Time for the 23-hour break. Coming up next, we got the Lowdown Flow Tide, followed by the Jason Greger Show, then Blue Jays baseball, taking on the Braves once again. We'll have that one for you in progress starting at 6 o'clock on our AM feed. If you stream, you get Fox Sports Radio. Thank you guys for joining us on the show today. Go check the podcast if you missed it, or head over to YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe. Sports 1440 AM. Right now, Sports Update with the Duke, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at willhawkbeefjerky.com, only available in Leduc.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final going tonight from Raleigh with the Hurricanes trailing the Vegas Golden Knights 1-0 in the best of 7. Puck drop scheduled for 6 o'clock in Carolina. CFL season 2026 edition kicking off tonight in Hamilton with the Tiger Cats hosting the Montreal Alouettes. getting underway at 5:30 Mountain from the Hammer. And in the major leagues of baseball, the Blue Jays wrap up their set in Atlanta, looking to avoid the sweep at the hands of the Braves. Chris Sale going for Atlanta, while Mason Fluharty will open up another bullpen day for Toronto. First pitch coming 5:15. You can catch that right here on Sports 1440, joined in progress at the conclusion of the Jason Dreger Show. Elsewhere, 3 other games already underway. The Yankees, for a third straight day without Aaron Judge, scoreless with the Guardians in the top of the second. Ditto between the Padres and Phillies in bottom 4. And in the middle of the first, Orioles up big early on the Red Sox, 6-0. Edmonton Riverhawks, they wrap up their first road series of the season in Victoria tonight against the Harbor Cats. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is the Lowdown.